everyone, I am Caroline from Mind and Muse Crafts. Thank you for stopping by and for joining me in another video in the series Countdown to Christmas. This is our third episode, and I've been giving you little by little updates on what I believe to be my countdown project, which is the Advent cardigan that you have been watching, and I can tell you today that I've got 2 sleeves. Look at that beautiful sleeve. The other one you had already seen, but now I have 2. I was out on a little trip today, taking advantage that my husband had to make a trip to the bank, and I stopped by Walmart to see if I could purchase the buttons to go on this, and so they had nothing special there, but I just purchased a couple of black buttons to put on it. I figured black would look okay. Not exactly what I wanted maybe, but I said let me go on the safe side and have them just in case I don't find anything else. So I've purchased the buttons, and what you see here, all those ending, and well, most of them have been hidden. They just need to be cut off. They just need to be cut off. There's really not a lot of them left. It just looks like that because I was traveling a lot in the car today, and as I was in the car, I was trying to finish and weave in those ends, but I didn't have, I wasn't able to cut, so I left them there. So that's the cardi for today. My update, I've finished the sleeve that you saw yesterday. I had maybe 2 rows of it. I finished the 3rd one, attached everything, and this is almost ready to be called a finished project for this Christmas. So I'm happy about that. I also have been thinking about my tree here. Thanks to all of you that have been making comments about my tree. It's been around for several years. This was a free pattern by Yarn Inspirations one Christmas, maybe 3 years back, or maybe more than that. I think about 3 years back should be right. It wasn't a Harry Potter tree. It was just a countdown till Christmas tree. And I changed the ornaments. I looked up online different also free patterns to make ornaments that were related to the Harry Potter series. There's just one of them that was felted, and one of them that is made with, what do we call this? With the wire? That is not coming to my mind right now, but this was given to me by Elizabeth, and I think all of the rest are crochet. So thinking about my tree, I mentioned before that I still had until yesterday, I still had 3 ornaments that I had never made. So I didn't actually have the 24. I have only 24 minus 3, 21. And so yesterday I worked a little bit on that. And thinking about one of my last podcasts, a couple of people, or maybe it was on Instagram, people were suggesting some things. I just went with this, which is a wreath with holly. And I don't know if you are a fan of the series, but at some point Harry Potter, who is the main character, is in love with this young girl, and they give themselves a kiss under the mistletoe. So there it is, my wreath with mistletoe, and I'm just going to put it here. There's nothing special about it. Well, maybe it is. I used here a ring from keychains. That for some reason there are a lot of keychain rings around here. I think Elizabeth left them behind, and so I just crocheted a border around that in double crochet, believe using a 3mm hook. Then I did a border around it doing a half double crochet and the back loop only, and that created like this stitches there on the edge. The holly was a free pattern also on that I just found on YouTube, and there it is. Put them together to make my holiday wreath for Harry Potter. I still have 2 left that I need to decide what I'm going to do, and I need to decide pretty quickly, huh? As I can see it, we are quickly approaching the 24th of December. My husband just reminded me a couple of minutes ago that it was next week, so yes, that is something I hope wasn't coming around that quickly, but you know, time plays tricks on you. So, today I thought maybe we'd go out into the garden and I would show you a little bit about one of the plants that grows during, well, it grows earlier during the year, but this time of year is when it is ready to harvest, and those are the green pigeon peas. The green pigeon peas are I don't know if they're actually peas because they're not round like the green peas that you get in the States. They are more like flat, but they're very popular here, especially during this season, because for the most part you plant them around February after the Christmas season, and then it takes all year round until November or December, depending what part of the island you live on, until they are ready to flower and then harvest. So sometimes there'll be people that'll have them by Thanksgiving, but for the most part here, we live like in a valley, we have the hills, the top, and we're like sunken into behind those hills, and so I think that affects a lot. There's a lot of humidity, and I guess that affects how fast these things grow, because I hardly ever have these for Thanksgiving. Actually, this year I'm having my first harvest a little bit early because I hardly ever have for the 24th of December. I usually get them later, and then I have until February or March I can pick my peas. But this year they're here early, so I want to take you out into the garden and show you how those peas are picked and how I get them out of their little shells. And maybe on another video, I don't think I have one today, where I can show you what I am going to work up with them. Okay, so I'll take you there, and then I'll be back after for some final thoughts. So let's go out to the garden where you will see my green pigeon tree plants. The green pigeon peas are a favorite in the Caribbean, especially in Puerto Rican kitchens. These peas are planted early during the year, let's say January, February, and are harvested towards the end of the fall, maybe beginning or the end of November. They can be eaten green, or they can be set to dry. You can let them dry in the plant, and then they can be eaten once they're dry. These trees can grow up to 15 feet high sometimes. It's a plant that is called nitrogen fixing because it enriches the soil. So this is my setup. I've got a movie, and basically I'm going to take the pods from here, and I'm going to open them up and throw whatever is left in here. So, hope you enjoyed that little walk around. That's only the front garden, where there's another plant there that's growing that I'm going to talk a little bit about in the future. So just wanted to show you, this is the mistletoe. I incorrectly called it holly. The mistletoe pattern a little bit larger. I had to make it quite a bit smaller. The one that I showed you before was done with a 1.25 millimeter hook and Aunt Lydia's number 10 yarn, thread, actually crochet thread. So it's a little bit bigger. It's by Happy Berry. You can find the crochet mistletoe under, well, the one that I wanted, under Happy Berry on YouTube. Okay, and so I'm not going to have time to do anything with those green pigeon peas that I showed you. in the previous video, so I am going to show you one last thing before I go. Every Friday we have our tradition of having some homemade pizza. So I was just going to show you how I work up the crust. I am gluten-free, so I make my own crust, and my husband just will eat whatever, so he doesn't mind eating gluten-free either. Let me just show you how I do that. So I'm going to spray this a little bit, put on some parchment paper. I was gifted their book, so gluten-free dough is very different from regular wheat dough because it doesn't have that stretch, and so it doesn't have that ability to stretch. The dough comes out kind of very sticky, so if we want it to stretch and not have holes in it, we have to use the system where we simply spray down a piece of plastic wrap and then use that plastic wrap to spread the dough. So you can kind of like tell as you touch it what parts are thicker than others. And the only thing I do to that America's Test Kitchen recipe different is probably add some Italian seasoning and a little bit of garlic. This is one of the best recipes that I have found up to now. It does depend quite greatly on the type of flour that you use. I use the America's Top Kitchen blend also. So they have a blend that they've created with different amounts of flours and starches. So that's the one that I normally use. And there it is. It'll go into the oven now. The other thing about gluten-free pizza crust is that it has to be cooked slowly. So it'll go into the oven at about 325 degrees, and there it will bake for maybe close to 45 minutes. Yes, it's a very long process. 90 minutes to grow, 45 minutes to cook at a slow temperature, at a low temperature, but it works the best that I have found up to now. Well, back with me. I hope you have enjoyed a little bit of what I shared with you. I hope you have, well, maybe not found it interesting. My life really isn't all that interesting, guys. I'm just a common, everyday woman here. But, I mean, you know, there are things that can be shared and maybe you didn't know about, and maybe it is interesting to see how other people do things. So thanks for stopping by. Hopefully I'll be able to share some more of the garden outside. It's raining again. Yesterday's video was at the beginning. After I was editing it, I realized how hard the rain was falling down and how much you could actually hear that rain. Well, it's raining again. And so we're going to call it like an evening here. My husband has gone out to visit his parents. He takes care of his parents in the evenings. He'll go by and take them some medicine and make sure they're okay. And then he'll be back and we'll have that pizza that I was working on. And we'll probably have a little bit of wine. And we'll call it a night also. Hopefully I can convince him to watch a Christmas movie with me, but that's not always easy because they're not his preference. So, and I kind of understand that. Some of them are kind of dumb. But that's okay. That is going to be my evening. I hope wherever you are enjoying your evening also. And we'll meet again here back hopefully tomorrow as we continue our countdown towards Christmas. So take care. See you soon. Bye for now.